Hello, and welcome back to the Spoilercast, the show where we talk about movies, and we don't care about spoiling them because it's in the name. My name is Tobias, and with me as always is my sister and trusted co-host, Rebecca.
Hello.
Hello, and as always, I want to remind you that if you're listening to this, I'm pretty sure you love this show. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's the best movie podcast ever. If you want to hear twice as many episodes every week, you should check us out on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Not only is there an extra episode every week, which is exclusive for all the patron members, you also get exclusive videos from time to time. You have exclusive commentary tracks, as early access to episodes. I mean, there's literally hundreds of hours of exclusive material to check out there.
And you can force us to watch something we hate.
That too. You can make requests.
Fun.
Yeah, like we did a couple of weeks ago with Hausu.
Yeah.
So, there's literally no reason not to join us at the $3 tier. So check it out. Patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Enough of that. Let's get into the episode. This is one I've been both expecting and dreading. For various reasons, which we'll get into. I don't know, what was your
No, pretty much the
thoughts?
same.
Pretty much the same, yeah. I mean, we've been on off, so we might as well just go ahead and say it. Today we're going to talk about Evil Dead Rise. Yay! It's the new Evil Dead movie.
Do we need one?
Everyone, yeah, exactly, didn't really care about. That's the main question. Did we really need another Evil Dead movie? The short answer is no.
Yeah, exactly.
Long answer is no, but spoilers, I'm glad we got one, sort of.
See, I'm gonna say this didn't have to be an Evil Dead movie. It just could have been a random possession movie.
I 110% agree, Rebecca.
Yes.
So
there are certain details that need to be changed, obviously.
Of course, yeah.
But they are easy to change.
Oh yeah. So let's get into it. What did you think of Evil Dead Rise?
It was okay. It had the necessary disgusting bits.
Yes.
It had the interesting possession, which worked for the most part. And the classic jump scares. I didn't mind it. I did laugh at it a couple of points because it got a bit silly, but
that's kind of,
that's
Evil
kind
Dead,
of the thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, woohoo, I need to watch it again. No, I've seen it once. I'm kind of done, I guess. Yeah,
me too.
But
no.
You looked hesitant.
No, I mostly agree. I agree specifically with the part that I liked it. I thought it was a good horror movie.
Yeah.
Was it as good as the original? No. Was it as good as the 2013 remake? No.
Nah.
Or do you disagree?
Nah. No, that one has... They're very different, though.
They're different, but they're also kind of similar. We'll get into that. Why I think the 2013 one is more effective than this one in a little bit. But I just want to say, as a standalone horror movie, I thought it was pretty damn good. It was entertaining. Yeah. It was well made. It was actually scary.
Yeah.
And it had lots of gore. It was gore galore, which I loved.
It had original gore as well, to a certain point, because there were things I've never seen before.
Specifically?
I mean, well, the thing with the eye, for example.
Well, I mean, that is almost not exactly, but it's literally taken from Evil Dead 2.
Oh, the whole thing?
Not the sucking out of the eye socket, but spitting into someone else's mouth. It is. That was a straight homage.
I remember that.
It's when they jump on the demon's head and one of its eyes pop out and it flies into the hillbilly lady's mouth. And she goes, and spits it out.
Yeah, but, okay.
Yeah, so it's not exactly the same thing. But
no.
Yeah. The eye in the mouth thing has been done before.
Well, I don't
I know
think
what you
I've
mean.
seen Evil Dead 2 in,
it's pretty damn rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the thing I like the most with this. That they did not skimp on the gore.
No.
There is lots of blood. Lots and lots of blood.
Of it.
Not as much as the last one. I mean, that one literally had the heavens open up with blood, so you can't really beat that.
No, but there were similar elements in this one.
Yeah. And I'm just glad. We probably said that because we've talked about the remake.
Yeah, we've done an episode, I think.
Or an episode commentary track, yeah. Discussing. Well, let's get into it then. That came out right when the new wave of horror had started with, The Conjuring and Insidious, the James Wan era.
Yes.
We've talked about the waves in other episodes. The James Wan wave had just started.
Yes.
And before that, we were kind of in a rut with all the, they were still kind of doing, Scream ripoffs in the late, 2000s, basically.
Yeah. The Evil Dead, the 2013 one came out when we had the supernatural craze, when that started.
Yeah. And it was all, PG-13 horror, and we got this super hard R, rated R horror movie with just buckets of blood.
Yeah.
And because of that, it felt like a breath of fresh air, so to speak, a blood-soaked breath of fresh air. That it actually went all the way.
Yes.
And I was glad with that. Now, though, we talked about we have the new wave of quality horror. Yes. Some of it quite violent, maybe not as blood-soaked, but very violent.
Yeah.
With the A24 movies and, the quote-unquote elevated horror.
Yeah.
I mean, even the damn Scream reboots or soft reboots are kind of damn gory from time to time.
Sure.
So,
but yeah, the quantity of blood is lesser, but it's terrifying in another way.
Yeah. So this one being super gory, going back to the old school splatter movies, doesn't have the same effect because it's coming in an era of a different kind of horror than the last one did.
Yeah.
So is it kind of unfairly judging it against the 2013 then? Yeah, maybe. Because they're from different eras.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's a product of its time, so.
Yeah.
That's one thing though I think we both agree on, but I gotta ask you, this is not elevated horror, right? This is just horror.
The only tiny bit that I just realized, it's not even elevated, it's just a nice little detail that I just realized that the 2013 movie was about late teens, right? The early 20s or something.
Yeah, sort of.
And their life struggles.
10
years later, we have a family dynamic instead. So they've aged the characters with their viewers, more or less.
Well,
which I just realized.
Well, we have a bunch of kids that are much younger, though.
Sure, but it's the family thing, I mean.
Yeah.
It's this will hit harder on our generation because we've probably started having kids now. If we watched in 2013 in theaters.
Oh, yeah, you mean yeah, sure. I thought you were going to talk about the other, super obvious theme or thematic they had, which was motherhood.
Well, yeah.
It was all pregnancy scares, difficult births, twin souls and everything. It was all mom stuff. They even they literally get birthed towards the end of the movie, and
yeah.
They do a homage to The Shining. They spill out of an elevator, and it's full of blood. And when they pan back to the broken elevator doors, it literally looks like a vagina.
Oh yeah,
the doors are bent. I'm come on,
slightly triangular.
Yeah, and that's at the point where our heroine has kind of gone through a change, and now she has to take charge. She is figuratively and literally reborn at the end, which is
yes.
All right. It's a little much.
She's also accepting
it's cool that they have some
role.
themes,
She's also accepting her role as
mother,
protector and mother of this child, basically.
Yeah. We just jumped into the themes here, but I mean,
sure.
That's about it, though. It's very light, and it's just something fun to hey, mom stuff. It's not it's not super heavy.
That's a little bit what I mean, because the 2013 one is about younger people and their struggles in life, having addiction and stuff like that, and friends and having that issue. In this one, it's more about becoming a mother, having children, and the family dynamic, and trying to start that.
It's hard to raise children.
Yes.
It might drive you insane.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just want to strangle them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I mean, once again.
Before we start going into proper spoilers, because we do need to do that. Spoilers. I'm not sure how I would rate this, but a 74 Metascore? Is that high?
That seems a little high.
It's a 7.5 out of 10. It's a little bit high, right?
I mean, it's basically the same Metascore that Dune Part 1 got.
Exactly.
I mean, they're different movies, so you judge them differently, of course, but...
Yeah. But even for a horror film, like, it's not... If you base it purely on scare and gore, sure.
Yeah,
but
I guess.
That's not what you base a horror film on, purely.
I'd probably... I mean...
A 6 is more like it.
Maybe a 7, yeah. I could go to a 7. I was thoroughly entertained. But...
Sure.
And that's also something I wanted to talk about before we go into spoilers, because it's important. What does drag it down for me is the fact that they have made this a Evil Dead movie.
Yes.
And we've talked about this before. I've brought it up specifically with this one because it's a franchise that's near and dear to me. I even hate using that word. Trilogy of movies that is very, very near and dear to my heart. Like, I have been a die-hard Evil Dead fan since I basically started watching movies.
Yes.
I mean, because I've been watching movies since I was like a toddler. But I mean, when I actually started like
watching,
collecting DVDs and watching movies with friends,
understanding what you were watching.
Yeah, one of the first ones I saw was The Evil Dead on VHS, and being just like, what the? Because I'd seen a couple of horror movies, like I'd seen Alien before that, but
nothing like that.
That's gory, but not on the same level as Evil Dead. Yeah, that was a whole other thing, and this concept of like low budget and having to be creative as a director. Like, whoa, like they were basically kids making this movie. They were like between 18 and 25 or something making the movie. So I have been obsessed. Well, possessed. That didn't work. Whatever. With Evil Dead ever since then. And I have watched how they have very, very slowly, incrementally though, but still kind of watered down the
brand,
the name, the brand. Yeah, exactly. Because you had the trilogy for a long, long time. It was just a trilogy.
Yeah.
And then they made the video games in the early 2000s, but that was fine because it's just video games. It's not like it's not canon. It's not like. It's a different mediums. It's fine, you know.
Yes.
It's like you know, a novelization of a movie that doesn't ruin the movie or whatever. No. So I was fine with that, and also the games kind of sucked, so nobody cared about them.
No one cared at all.
You could disregard them, but then they made the remake, and it was, you know, once again kind of in the era of remakes. It was still kind of going on. I mean, it's still kind of going on. The era of remakes, yeah. And I was like, I don't know, but it's like we said, it was such a breath of fresh air to see that kind of ultra violence in movies, in mainstream movies back then. So I was like, fair. But then they did, and also, it's a remake. It was detached from the originals.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that.
It's not part of the same universe.
No,
even though they have
true.
like they're supposed to be like a weird Ash cameo, but I mean that's just an Easter egg, you know.
Yeah.
But then they did the TV show, and I know fans liked it.
I think I saw like 1.5 episodes and gave up.
Yeah, I saw a couple of episodes first season, and I was like, first of all, it erases Army of Darkness, which is a goddamn travesty, because that movie is hilarious. It's the worst of the three, yes. But it's an amazing movie, nonetheless. And also, it continues a trend that started actually technically it started in the second movie, but more in the third movie, of making Ash like a joke.
Yeah.
He was kind of a like pastiche of a badass hero in the third one, because they still like made fun of him a bit, but he was still like the badass hero. But as a joke, wink, wink,
Yeah.
But then the more the discussion about Evil Dead went on, Ash was seen more as like a comedic figure, and that's fair. But I think they went too far and made him like a full up just fucking joke in the TV show. I didn't
the entire TV show just feels like a almost like a spoof cash grab or something.
Mm-hmm. And I don't mind him being like,
of it, I suppose.
I don't mind them poking fun at Ash. That's kind of the fun. Like, he is this badass, but sometimes they're like, come on, dude. Like, they can poke fun at him like screaming like a girl or whatever, But to make him outright just the butt of every joke, no, didn't work for me. And also, like a TV show of Evil Dead, you can't make it as bloody, even though it is very bloody, but it's not the same thing. And like I mentioned before, it was like, before that you could say, oh, remember Evil Dead? Remember those 3 great movies? Yeah. And then in 2013 it was like, oh, remember Evil Dead? Those 3 great movies. And that remake.
Yeah.
And then like in 2014 when the TV show came out, oh, remember Evil Dead? That awesome indie horror trilogy and that remake and the TV show. And now, 10 years after that, we have another remake? Because this is straight up a remake of the first one. They just moved it from a cabin to a high-rise building.
Basically, yes, but there is a detail that we will get into that makes me think this is technically a sequel.
Okay, yeah, we'll discuss that, I suppose. But do you know what I mean? Like, I wish this wasn't an Evil Dead movie.
No. They could have changed the name and, like I said, a couple of details, and we would have been fine.
Yeah. It's like Rich Evans says, our generation, I mean, I guess he's one generation before us, but still, like...
Sure.
Our generation just will not let our toys die.
Yeah.
Like, we can't let go of the past. We have to keep making Evil Dead movies. We have to keep making fucking Ghostbusters movies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the same thing really, but we're still making goddamn Marvel movies after Endgame. Give up! Move on! Do something else,
No, but we've literally grown up with it, though. So
but we're grown up now. Do something else. We talked about that briefly before. We talked about how how you grow up and stop listening to some certain kind of music.
Yeah,
and we talked about if you like music, you like music. Yes, but when you grow up, you find other things as well. So
exactly, you go back to that childhood thing as a nostalgia thing.
Yeah,
you don't constantly only listen to that.
Exactly.
Your taste buds evolve.
You make 3 albums. The last one is literally about dying, and then you end it. I'm talking about Slipknot.
Yes.
And then
that was the discussion.
Yeah, and then your bandmate dies. Literally after the album where you say, "Till we die," which is the song on the 4th album. Mm-hmm. But then you make 3 more albums? Like, just move on! Do something else. Let go of the past. And
then literally died.
Yeah, and then bring us back to Evil Dead Rise then. Like, it's a fine movie on its own. Why did it have to be an Evil Dead movie? I know why. It's brand recognition. I think it is actually, because Evil Dead, they have kept the name alive through the TV show, through the new video game that came out, which is like an arena, like Dead by Daylight or whatever it's called. Those kind of games. Yeah, sort of. The name has stayed alive, so they could still use it now, and it would be hard to sell such a gory movie without a recognizable name.
See, I don't think that, though.
Okay.
Because the younger generation, the ones who were too young to watch the 2013 version, which was nostalgia for our generation, the ones who were too young to watch that have no clue what Evil Dead is. So if they want to reach out to a new audience, you need to start a new thing. You cannot bank on old memories and old names by now.
Yeah.
No one of the younger generations are going to understand what Evil Dead is. They're just going to go and see, oh, that's a gory, scary movie. We'll watch that.
That might be true. There wasn't a lot of people in the...
By now, we're past that, unless you're using something that came out in the last 2 or 3 years. Scream might work because it's such it's kept going, sort of.
Yeah, it's ingrained in pop culture more than Evil Dead is.
Exactly.
Evil Dead is more
a bit
niche.
more niche.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
We'll fix that. Yeah. No, I agree. But I did, I did look around. We watched it. It was a sneak preview.
Sure,
so
it's a sneak preview, technically.
It technically premieres tomorrow here in Sweden.
It's also Thursday. Not everybody's gonna go out.
That's true.
Watch the movie. It's also getting warmer outside. A lot of people are gonna go outside, sit outside on the what's it called? Uteserveringar? I just kept saying outside. Outside.
Yeah.
Not go to theater.
So, but who do you think was in that theater? I looked around. The people next to me.
It was a bunch of nerds who were technically older than us.
Oh, okay.
Probably.
Yeah, because the ladies next to me, I'm like, are these Evil Dead fans, or are they? Because they honestly, maybe they didn't look that old, but they looked like moms. They were like drinking wine, and I don't know.
Yeah. No, I think they grew up with the movies.
Maybe they did. Yeah, maybe.
The guy next to me was literally there for the scares because he got terrified at times.
Okay.
But when you look down at some of the people who were sitting on the level below us, they looked like uber nerds. Like,
oh, okay.
You, but worse.
So fans of the original.
Yes, probably. Especially if you're going on a Thursday night on the sneak preview.
Yeah. Although there wasn't like a... It wasn't as fun as you know, some other sneak previews. There was no there were no costumes. There were no like gags in the audience.
No. This was a random thing. Yeah. Almost.
That's kind of sad.
Sneak previews can be cool though, but this was not like produced that way.
No, unfortunately.
But it's also a thing though, because even the diehard fans are not gonna dress up as Ash to go see this, like, how many years later movie that has nothing to do with him. Yeah,
I mean, it's...
the brand recognition kind of fails there.
Technically, that's actually kind of funny. I haven't thought of it. I might be wrong here, but Army of Darkness came out in 93. So it's always a 3, you know. 93. So then... 2003. Yeah, 20 years later, we had the remake. And then 10 years after that, we have this remake.
92 for Army of Darkness.
Okay then.
Might have been 93 in Sweden, I don't know.
yeah, exactly.
But I think they kind of failed with the name recognition here.
Yeah, maybe they did. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, because when I said that, like, oh, it's only for brand recognition, the username, I think that's how they're thinking. The producers are thinking.
Of course. Because it's worked for every other franchise in the world. But
then they should have gone further with it. They should have made it like a midnight, premiere. They should have had like, we're gonna have like like a Star Wars premiere. Well, Star Wars premieres used to be before Disney took over. Anyway, whatever.
Well, we had the whole Disney Plus preview of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yeah, but nobody dressed
kind of had that.
People, when I went and saw, oh shit, what's it called? What's the third one called?
I don't fucking know.
Episode 3? What the fuck is it called? Whatever. The third one.
Yeah, you know.
People lined up. I mean, we this was in the young age of the internet, even, well, broadband internet. So we didn't buy our tickets online. We camped outside the theater to buy it, and we had like, impromptu lightsaber battles in the line, We had sing-along shit. And then at the actual premiere, we had
the internet.
I know, that's sad. Because this would have been a perfect opportunity to do it. I mean, we bought the tickets like 2 weeks before the actual showing. So then all the people who bought the tickets for that midnight premiere, we were invited to a fucking pre-party before the midnight premiere on the night.
Of course.
Where everyone showed up, and they had a cosplay contest, yeah. And then everyone, walked as a group from
the party
from Sweden, from Plattan to Rigoletto.
Yeah, it was.
And then they had a live orchestra, small orchestra, like 4 or 5 people, live orchestra playing like big band jazz versions of Star Wars songs in the lobby of the theater. I mean, everyone was dressed in Star Wars. The
last time I think I've been to anything remotely like that was like the third or whatever number last Twilight movie at premiere, because there were also like a contest.
It's a big fan thing. It's a fan event.
Yeah. And then we had a little one for the Ghostbusters remake.
Yeah, that was a little bit, but not nearly as much. Well, Ghostbusters Afterlife, not the remake.
Oh, right, Afterlife, sorry, yeah.
Nobody cheered for the remake.
No.
But I'm getting back. No, we're always these things. But I'm going back to, like, that's how they should have sold this one.
Yeah.
They should have, they should have had a contest. They should have had, they should have given everyone a T-shirt like they did when we saw Predators. Remember that?
Or when we saw Scream 4? When everyone got a Scream mask?
Yeah, we got Scream mask and a goodie bag. It was a small thing, but it was something at least. Like, make it a big event if you want to sell it on the fucking Evil Dead name. I mean, it's one of the original, like, fan things that people are fans of.
Again, I think that whole culture has kind of died out with the internet. Because everyone's cosplaying now, but then you're cosplaying specifically to cosplay. You're not doing it for a premiere of something. You're not doing it for like watching a movie. You're doing it for the internet, for the clout.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't do it for a premiere, especially not like this.
That's sad, because that would be another way for me to actually, like, enjoy this movie more. It wouldn't feel... Because you can mask...
You got hyped, basically.
Yeah, you could mask the cynicism behind, like, oh, we're doing it for the fans. Now it just feels like, oh, they're just doing it to sell the movie.
Yeah, which, then again, I think they failed.
Yeah.
Because if they just called it, like, Dead Rice or something... Okay, that's a video game almost, but...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Rice has to do with the fact that it's in a high-rise.
High-rise, yeah. It's in a tall building.
Yeah, that's a stupid name, to be fair.
Yeah, do something with high-rise. Dead Rice.
It's something.
Something, yeah.
Evil Rice. I don't know.
Yeah.
Demon Rice. Fuck's sake. And it just... We're getting into spoilers here a little bit, but switch out the book for, like, another object.
It could be... I mean... Honestly, and we talked about this before, it could even be a book. Just don't call it Natura de Monto or Necronomicon Ex Mortis. Call it like, the Book of Evil Spells or whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay
just a random book.
Yeah, it's okay to take inspiration. It's okay to even, lift things. Yeah?
However, the combination of a book like that, the incantation, and the chainsaw, that's a bit much.
Yeah, of course. You need to change some things as well then. Like, you'd have to...
Don't have a chainsaw. Have like a machete or something.
Anything else? Yeah, exactly. Anything else would work. And all the creepy demon speak, that could still be a thing. That's not exclusively
not
Evil Dead.
Those words.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did say, "I'll swallow your soul."
Yeah,
and all those things because I didn't want this to be an Evil Dead movie. It just felt so wrong.
Yeah.
Like the clock in the beginning, like, we're gonna film the clock because that's what they do in Evil Dead. Like, why? The clock didn't mean anything in this movie.
It just stopped. That's
but we barely saw it stop. Did we even hear it stop?
We saw it once. We did see it stop once, and then that's it. Then we never see it again because it stopped.
Yeah.
So who cares?
It also doesn't make sense if you want to be super nitpicky, because the fact that the clock stops is that it stops at night. And they're just waiting for dawn so they can escape. But since the clock has stopped, time has stopped, dawn never comes. That's the whole thing. Dawn doesn't come until he defeats the demons in the original. That's the whole thing with the clock. As soon as it starts, as soon as it strikes, when she's painting it or drawing it, they're doomed. It tolls for thee, Here it's just, it's the clock.
And it stopped.
Okay.
And I think it's a few beats later we realize that something's wrong. So it doesn't it didn't even tell us something happened. And
it's in the middle of the day, so...
I mean, we can't really tell, though, because it's dark throughout the entire fucking film because it's raining.
No, but I mean, the cold open.
Oh, right. Oh, there was a clock in that one?
Yeah, that was what I was talking about. Was there a clock in the apartment?
I think so. Or maybe I'm just mixing it up. Either way, obviously, that detail failed.
Yes.
Because neither of us fucking got it.
And then the whole, I'll swallow your soul. I don't know.
I mean, we've heard that before, though. From other demons in general.
I guess.
We'll get into more spoilers now, because there are details that I want to discuss.
Yes, let's go. So from here on out, spoilers.
Yes,
if you don't want
warned.
If you don't want Evil Dead Rise spoiled, stop listening here. We both recommend it, though. Movie. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Go check out the movie and then come back.
Yeah.
And listen to the rest of it.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
So the one thing that makes me think that this is technically a sequel to the 2013 one is the fact that they mentioned that there are 3 books.
Okay.
Because then it looks slightly different from the one in the 2013 movie. So I'm thinking the 2013 movie is 1 book. This is a 2nd book, and then there is a third one, which will, if this is successful enough, they'll waste money on making that too.
Okay.
That's the only reason I think this might be a sequel, technically. But if they want to follow a theme, then, like we mentioned, there was the younger person, now we have the family dynamic. What's the third one going to be? Old people?
Yeah.
Pension or retirement? Being scary? I don't know.
Honestly, hold on. I gotta check this, actually. Because I don't know if you reacted, but I reacted to the fact that this was a Warner Brothers movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, wait a minute, Warner Brothers. From what I know, it's Studio Canal that owns the rights and have done for quite some time to the name Evil Dead. I know. I'm looking it up now. Yeah, the last one was a Studio Canal produced movie. So maybe at some point, I don't know, maybe either Warner Bros. Bought the rights or they bought up Studio Canal. I don't know. But that's why I think this is kind of a reboot and not a sequel, because Warner Brothers want to start their own Evil Dead.
Okay, that could be it then, I suppose.
Yeah. If you want to be super cynical and look at it from, the business perspective.
Yeah. Sure.
Because yeah, there's no references to the other movies other than saying there are 3 books, but that could just mean that this was the first book in the
sure,
trilogy.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely. This could just be the first one out of several movies.
Yeah.
That they just gave themselves plot convenience that the books can look different and they can appear in very different places because, well, it's one of the other books,
Yeah. Let's see if it said something.
I have to ask one thing as well about it, one of the characters, because I'm a little bit confused, because every blurb says 2 sisters, which is referring to the mother and Beth, right?
Yes.
But the letterboxed one says 2 sisters find an ancient book that gives birth to bloodthirsty demons that run amok in a Los Angeles apartment building.
Well,
it's a son, a brother that finds the book technically.
Are you sure?
Danny?
Yeah, Danny could still be short for Danielle.
No, but they say Daniel at one point even.
They do. Oh, okay.
And as far as the actor goes, I'm not seeing anything that has to do with anything non-binary or anything like that.
Morgan Davies.
He is mentioned a lot. So he has also finished filming the role of Oberon in Foxtel's drama The End, for example.
Okay.
So I'm not seeing this as something.
Yeah, but I gotta say, he
looked very androgynous.
Very androgynous. Very non-binary. As did the sister, Bridget. She was very tomboyish.
If you look at... Sorry. Scratch what I just said, because if you look at previous projects they've been in, it's Morgana Davis, so maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Never mind what I just said then.
Morgana
Either
Davis.
way.
Yeah.
That was just... I just thought it was weird to call it 2 sisters find it, because it's not the sisters who find it. It's Danny who finds it.
Yeah, but the child of 2 sisters find a book. I mean...
People find. Is that not enough? Either way, I don't know where I was going with that. It just bothered me that it says 2 sisters find, because no, there's one person who finds it. Fuck's sake.
Well, yeah, but the other kids are there,
Sure.
But that also means that they talk about the grown-up sisters, because there are 3 kids that find it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Either way.
Oh yeah, in the IMDb version, it's the most nightmarish version of family imaginable. Yes, it's the family dynamic. That's the obvious theme here.
Yeah.
They got that part right, at least.
Okay, but any other spoilers you want to talk about?
Well,
other
this
than
is gonna sound terrible.
The tagline, which sounds really
sound terrible.
Okay,
but I kind of wanted the Cables in the elevator to abuse her differently.
Yeah, they skimped on that in this one.
Yes,
they didn't go full tree rape as they did in the original and in the remake.
Because when I saw the Cables, like, okay, so there's no trees around. Let's do the Cables instead. But they didn't. They just broke her bones or something.
Yeah,
it was a weird thing. Because sure, it's very traumatic in the original and in the remake to watch that scene. I fucking hate it, but it's iconic at the same time.
Yes, that's why they even decided to do it.
It's an older person who's enduring it, so maybe it's not as traumatic. I don't know. As an audience member, I mean.
I don't know. I still think, yeah. I didn't really. I mean, I noticed it. I was like, "Ooh, here it comes," and then it didn't, and I was like, "Oh, okay." It didn't bother me.
No, it didn't bother me. It just
I noticed it, but it didn't bother me.
Odd somehow.
Not really, honestly. They chose they abuse these women in so many other ways. So maybe we'll skip the rape scene. You know?
Sure.
That's one thing though. If you want to talk like, if you want to do some pearl clutching here and be like old women, having like an 8-year-old be part of this felt a little off, especially when the mother is like, directly like threatening the little child towards the end. Where I, for a split second, thought they were going to do the whole, spreading the legs on her, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, in the truck.
Where?
When the big monster thing, when all the arms and legs are the same person.
When they become one?
Yeah.
The family finally becomes one?
And they grab her and pull her into that tree management truck. They grab her, both her legs, and for a split second, they grab both her legs. And I was like, no, wait, no, because grabbing legs in Evil Dead means, woohoo, yeah. Unfortunately, they didn't go there.
Yes.
Like, oh, thank fuck, I don't think that was the intention, but, it looked like it, And because of the earlier movies, it was where my mind went.
Being mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. That too, yeah.
I didn't realize there was a trees something on the truck,
Fonda's tree management or tree something. That's why that's why it was a wood chipper and they had a chainsaw. It was a lot of like planting things. So that's like we're planting the fact that they can do like engineering with the, I don't know what it's called, soldering thing.
Yeah.
So that they can fix things later. They plant that. They plant the tattoo gun, which she uses to infect her daughter. They planted the tree truck with the wood chipper and the chainsaw there.
The heavy tools in general, yeah.
Yeah, they even
the gate being an issue.
Yeah.
The one thing that
the
surprised me though was
is planted. Even he says, "I should bring my shotgun."
The one thing that was pure surprise or proper surprise was the stairs. The staircase just missing all of a sudden.
That is a reference to the original.
Is it?
When whatever the other guy is called, when he's looking out the window, it's like, the road is gone. Like, the path that we came on, it's gone.
Right.
Or if you want to, it could be that the bridge, you see it better in the second movie, but it's in the first movie as well. The bridge is like bent back, like it's broken. It looks like a hand holding them back in the forest.
Ah, that's true.
For me, that was a clear reference. Yeah. That they can't get out
it still surprised me when they opened the door and when the stairs are missing.
Stairs are gone. Yeah.
What? I mean, sure, there's an earthquake and this is an old house, but is that enough to bring down stairs? I guess,
yeah.
It did create a hole in the bottom of the building, so.
Yeah. So.
But yes, it was a bit terrible to have like an 8-year-old be very much a part of this.
Yeah.
And towards the end, she was very much a part of actually
Yeah,
ending the bodies of her family.
She pulls the plug on her family, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
I just kept thinking when they were like finished and Aunt Beth grabbed the chainsaw and they started walking out. It's like, how the fuck are you going to explain this?
Yeah.
You walk out on the street, both of you are drenched in blood, and you're holding a chainsaw?
Well, that's every Evil Dead movie, though.
Sure, but now they're in the city. They're in Los Angeles. They're not in the woods.
That's also a thing I didn't like. Like, I get it, they want to try something new. But an old building like this, it wasn't... Okay, if it was like a big, scary, haunted mansion type situation. But this was just a old building. It wasn't... The setting wasn't scary to me.
No, definitely not.
I understand that they didn't want to do the cabin in the woods again, because it's kind of played out. I get it. But I mean... This didn't work.
You could have at least had it like... Because it didn't even feel like it was on, like, the outskirts of town or something.
No.
It felt semi-central.
Yeah.
Because you saw a bunch of other buildings around it.
Yeah, that's true.
It could have at least put it, like, more on the outskirts or something. Made it, I don't know, smaller as well. Because being, like, 12 or 13 stories high was unnecessary.
Yeah. And it also felt kind of like, I don't know if, what was the last movie we talked about? Oh, Renfield.
Yeah.
I mentioned recently that I felt like I watched like a pandemic movie. Oh no, sorry, that was the movie I saw on my own.
That wasn't with me.
No. I saw the movie. What's it called? Inside with Willem Dafoe, not the French movie. The new.
Oh yeah.
The one where he's an art thief who gets locked into an apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how it felt like a pandemic movie because it's just one guy in an apartment. You could shoot it with a small crew,
yeah.
and everything. Yeah. This kind of felt like that as well. Like
a little bit, yeah.
I mean, I get that it's budgetary stuff, but I mean, if this is
it's very contained.
Yeah, it felt contained. But I mean, if you're gonna shoot in a high rise, use the fact that you have like a bunch of tenants. I mean, we see like 6 people on all.
They do explain it though.
I know, but I mean, imagine if you had
buildings,
if we had like
getting torn down, literally.
Imagine if you had like 20 demons chasing them in the end instead of 1 or whatever. Or they could do a sequence of them like running through the corridors, just boom, 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 shooting them. Like have fun with it.
They almost did it with the rest of the neighbors waking up,
but
then
one scene.
They just
and they don't actually do anything.
Stand there.
And say, dead by dawn, just to reference the old movies again.
Yeah, but that didn't really make sense to this one because we haven't heard, like, there's nowhere in the texts or in the records that mention the dawn thing, really.
Yeah. No, but they say, like, everyone in here will be dead by dawn.
Sure.
And then they keep repeating dead by dawn.
Yeah,
dead by dawn.
but it felt weird.
I am surprised now that I think about it that they didn't go for join us, which is also another big thing in Evil Dead. No one says join us, or do they?
No. I don't think so. The only thing is the mother she just wants us to be one big happy family. The mother only says, like, I want to chop you all up into pieces and crawl inside of you, which she does eventually, or well, they crawl inside of her, I suppose.
Yeah, they're all one big happy creature.
Yes.
Yeah. Which was that was supposed to be, the POV demon thing. From what I understand. And I don't know what I think about that. In the original, you don't actually see that monster ever. I mean, well, they hint at it.
You see it in the books.
Huh?
Do you ever even see it in the book? Like you did here? Because in this one you see
right.
the etching of that monstrous thing.
No. In the remake, the 2013 remake, you have, of course, like the boss monster.
Sure.
The demon in the end. But that's not supposed to be the running through the woods thing.
It also felt very inconvenient to be 3 people mashed up together to go through the ventilation like they did.
Yeah, it looked like a big lump of just flesh and
arms and legs.
And I'm surprised it fit through that little hole.
Exactly. But I guess, they're demons. They can contort. They're already dead. They don't care.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You can't feel that kind of pain.
I suppose.
Standard thing that annoys me with horror movies, though, when it comes to demons and shit. When you stab them once and you realize that's not working, why do you keep stabbing them?
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
That's something I wish we had more of. More cutting off limbs. That's a big thing in the originals. And that's,
Because they do also mention it here. Like, the only way to sort of stop them is to cut off the limbs.
But then they do say that not even that works. Like, the little pieces run after you. Like,
sure.
So then how do you defeat this?
It's easier to run away from, like, little pieces than a full-sized body.
Yeah, of course. But, here, they even have, like, how they connect that cold open to the movie. Yeah. You can't kill it because they literally throw the demon into a wood chipper and turn it into like goo. Yeah. And it's still, you see like little pieces of flesh twitching when the girl comes into the garage.
Yeah, but that's
I think you can even see like the blood rippling like it's trying to move.
But that's what they said on the tapes or the records.
But then
you can't defeat it, you can only run.
So what's the goal then? If you're gonna make another movie, like how? Oh, so then we already know. You can't defeat it.
It's kind of like Truth or Dare. You can't defeat it. You have to just give it to someone else.
Yeah, but
remember Truth or Dare?
Yeah. I remember, but that's why Truth or Dare only works once. You can't make a Truth or Dare 2 because it's just gonna be the same then.
Yeah.
So
which is where they fucked up here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. There has to be like a way to defeat the demon. Otherwise, what's the point? The next one's just going to be the same then.
Yeah, unless someone eventually figures it out somehow.
Of course, there's always a way.
Because someone can all of a sudden read that text and they realize that there is actually a way.
Yeah, and like in the old slasher movies, like there's always a way because there it's the other way around. Like they kill the guy every time, but he always finds a way to come back for the next movie. There's always a way. Maybe
they do it the opposite way then this time, but you can't kill it until they're actually done. Sequels.
It's like
when they're like, maybe we're done now. We can actually kill it off now.
Yeah, but it's like Luke Skywalker said, no one's ever really gone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yikes, that opens up for so many sequels to this.
Yes, I know. I really hope. I didn't see anything. I haven't heard anything yet. I really don't. Like, you quit while you're fucking ahead. You had a huge gamble with the first remake. It worked. Then you like, maybe one more. I can do it again. Papa needs a new pair of shoes. And yeah, you kind of did it again. But please
don't start milking this.
Yeah, don't milk this. Don't ruin this. Don't become Scream.
It's gonna be worse if you keep doing it.
Oh, God, I gotta see. Evil Dead. Let's just see if there's anything. Oh, Evil Dread. Evil Dead Rise. Sequel, if there's any talk. I mean, it's too early, but usually like, oh, they already greenlit the sequel. Let's see if they say anything.
There's no talk on it on trivias yet, at least.
No, it's very little trivia, which I guess.
But it's because it's technically early. It technically premieres tomorrow.
It's very early. Here's though a article talking about whether it's a reboot or sequel.
Oh yeah.
Blah 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 blah. Evil Dead Rise. Okay, what? In 2013, Fede Alvarez came out with a soft reboot, of the original titled Evil Dead, from which Ash's character was absent, and now the new movie will follow its lead. And then it says, Evil Dead is a sequel! Or Evil Dead Rise is a sequel, sorry. Okay. The next film in the universe, Evil Dead Rise, in the universe. Oh my God, they said it.
Yeah.
That's just this
article,
That's what
I said with the 3 books thingy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They're opening up for a universe, which is terrifying.
Oh, you're reading it as well?
No, I'm just...
Okay. Evil Dead Rise hits theaters in 2023, and it's going to be... Oh, okay, this was written before the movie came out, so maybe they're speculating as all these fan things want to do. It's going to be a sequel to the original franchise. According to reports, the next chapter in the saga builds off of the original trilogy rather than the 2013 reboot, and moves the action out of the woods and into the city. Despite it being an Evil Dead sequel, characters from past entries will not appear in the film, and it will follow a new protagonist. The movie also promised to be one of the most extreme in the Evil Dead franchise. With a dead-eyed mother attacking her children in a city setting.
It kept reminding me of the which I haven't seen in ages, so I probably remember it wrong. But there was a movie years ago, a horror movie called like Mommy or something. 2 kids were found feral in the woods.
Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me of that for some reason.
Yeah, a little bit.
The poster and the whole like trailer being so very "mommy won't hurt you" kind of thing.
Which came out, of course, in that wave of kind of terrible PG-13 horror movies.
Yeah.
Around the same time as The Orphan, if you want to talk Vera Farmiga movies. Because I think she's... No, maybe I'm misremembering. Oh, whatever. Evil Dead Rise. Okay, so this article, which was written before the movie came out, says it's a sequel. How is this a sequel?
Nah, it's a very loose sequel in that case.
It builds off the original trilogy.
How?
As far as I know, even in the theatrical ending of Army of Darkness, the book does not come back with him to present day. It stays in Camelot. And
this is a different book by the looks of it.
Yeah, also that. It's a different book, which was locked away by some priests.
Exactly. Somewhere in between these films, then, there was these priests who failed and then locked them.
Yeah, and they locked it away in they locked it away in the 1920s.
Oh no!
Ashley must have found it in the 1980s, right? What? Yeah. What are you knowing about?
No, I'm just they. What if they make a prequel and it's about the priests?
Oh, oh no!
That I even put that thought into the universe is terrible. But
no, cut it out.
I just because the Nun movie is having like another movie, and I'm like, are they gonna do something like that?
But I mean, this is Warner Bros.
Yeah, exactly.
They do the Conjuring universe. So
yes.
No. Let's talk about something else. Let's move on.
The more we talk about this movie, the less impressed I am, to be fair.
Yes, because I'm scared this is one of those new cynical movies and not just a fun, throwback.
Exactly.
It's Warner Brothers, the people who, evidently, hate movies because of, all the things they did with HBO Max.
Yeah.
I mean, this was going to be a straight-to-streaming.
Yeah.
So, kudos for them to actually putting it out because of, audience reactions. But still, ugh. And this, even though this is one article, so I can't, it's not gospel.
But I have to look at user reviews because I'm, who's seen this?
Well, maybe
actually,
not
someone who posted on April 12th. I've just seen the film in a previous screening in London, which featured a Q&A from director Lee Cronin. Cronin.
Okay, what did he say?
It's an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
For them, they had high hopes. Especially because I actually really liked the 2013 remake. I would say that generally didn't disappoint, but it certainly didn't smash it out of the park for me either. And there are a bunch of specifics which I'm not going to read because there's too much text.
Oh, I'm looking at the critical reviews. I'm so amazed that no one is pointing out the fact that we shouldn't have more sequels or sequels, whatever, more Evil Dead movies. But everyone's like, oh, but it's a really good Evil Dead movie. It's not really an Evil Dead movie.
It's not an Evil Dead movie. It's just a good horror film.
That's called Evil Dead. Yeah, I mean here, Slash Film, Jacob Hall, 85 out of 100. Yes, Evil Dead Rise is the most Evil Dead movie. From the mind-melting body horror to the outrageous creature design to the darkly comedic spring in its step. It wasn't really comedic.
No, there were a few, laughable moments, but it wasn't because of comedy. Yeah. It was just because it was weird.
Yeah, here's a movie that invites you to treat the decimation of a family unit by demonic forces like a big old party. No, I thought it had way too dark of a tone for that. There's a select portion of the human population who will find that reprehensible. The rest of us freaks can just crack open the cursed book, read the cursed words, and enjoy the cursed ride.
There are a few other people who have seen it, talked about it being a weird horror comedy.
I don't see the comedic elements.
But I don't see it either. 3 people who gave it 1 out of 10. One of them says it's like the worst Blumhouse film ever, badly written and worst acted. A sequence of meaningless situations to recall the original just to raise cash. Yeah. At points, sure, but
I'm more in
no.
that camp because, yeah, the original movie is not well written. The characters are super thin. They're just there to be murdered.
Yes.
But I mean, there are still relationships and everything. And here, like, and now we got to talk about this from a modern perspective. Like, these characters have no characterization. We have, the mom is a mom. She tattoos people, obviously, because she has a tattoo gun and we see her sign, and she has tattoos herself.
Yeah.
Her sister works as a guitar tech for some band.
Yeah, a roadie.
Yeah, a roadie. And
the kids are edgy?
Doesn't want to have a child.
Who's not ready.
She's not ready for a child. Yeah. The daughter wants to go to a protest.
For the Earth, because I think her sign says
make
Earth
cool again.
Make Earth, cool again.
Okay.
And then the other son kid wants to be a DJ, I guess.
He wants to be a DJ, and the little child is, well, the child's just a child, you know. She's a little girl.
She's like, weird, though. I'll give her that.
Yeah, sure.
They're edgy. They're an edgy family. That's about it.
But we don't get more than that. Oh, yeah, no. the father left.
Sure. Which is a weak breaking down of the mother enough to have her open for possession.
Yeah.
That's a weak thing, because that's not enough. Like, I mean, even if a relationship ending would be heartbreaking, in that situation when you have 3 kids, I feel like you would be stronger than that. You would not be open for possession like that.
Yeah. I mean,
there needed to be something more, like have him hang himself or something.
Yeah.
That would have been more terrifying.
But it's also that they might become homeless because they're tearing down the building. They haven't found a new place to live yet. And I'm guessing from the from the look of everything, they're might not be the most stable of people, you know. And
financially, you mean?
Or
in general.
In general. And they both seem like they have she has teenage children, and she doesn't seem to be too old herself. Maybe she had children very, very early in her life, you know.
I guess. The younger sibling is like a sluddis. I don't know how you say that in English.
Well, that's maybe if you have like a child when you're like in your 50s. She's obviously not in her 50s.
Sure.
She looks like she's in her like late 30s.
But she was definitely not planning on having a third kid.
No, that too, yeah. But she had like 2 unexpected pregnancies in her teenage years or something like that. I mean, hey, we just gave her some characterization.
Yeah, but they don't really show that.
No, that's our speculating. She might be in her 50s. I don't know.
Even if they mention like, oh, we're gonna get kicked out, we haven't found a place. The mother never really acts like she is worried about it.
Yeah,
she's just annoyed that her sister comes there and asks for advice when she's in the middle of all of this.
Yeah.
That's the only tiny bit of like emotional distress we get from her, that she's annoyed, and at one point when she finds the shoes of her ex, she's angry and wants to throw out his stuff.
Yeah.
That's when she gets possessed. Like, she's not emotionally vulnerable enough for a possession.
No. Going back to the 2013 movie then, like they're pretty thin there as well, but at least there's a dynamic between all the characters, because they're like an old like high school kids gang group who hung out, and they slowly broke apart because, you know, the core of that group, Mia and, you know, her brother and their mother was kind of what it feels like the anchor point even for the friends.
Yeah.
But when the mother became sick and she's dead when the movie starts, right? She
dies, and Mia becomes an addict, and her brother, I want to say Josh, but I'm not entirely sure, leaves for school, basically just leaves Mia behind.
Yeah, and like when they reconvene, he like works at a mechanic shop or something. He just left to get away from it all. While the other people like try to move on with their lives. He's kind of as stuck as Mia is in that one.
Yes.
And it's all, you know,
but you have a more clear weak point, which is Mia's addiction.
Yeah, which is, you know, and it's a classic, you know, it's not just a drag on her life, it's a drag on all her friends' life as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why they're
which
doing
opens
intervention.
all of them up more for vulnerability and possession specifically.
And
this one, there's no clear point where that vulnerability comes from.
No. And it's also more fun because even though we know in an Evil Dead movie, there are demons. But, like, we can say, like, I love that part in the beginning where it is kind of unclear, like, is she actually possessed or is she just jonesing, you know?
Yeah. Is it just withdrawals or is she going crazy?
I mean, we know, but the movie plays with it a little bit before we actually goes to the full-on demon shit. That's fun.
That's smart. That's almost elevated without being elevated horror.
Yeah, it's not quite on the same, but I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's clever at least.
Yeah. Also,
not much clever stuff in this one.
No, not really. It's fair, but not super clever. Also, that one still has the best, like, injury of these two movies. When, oh my god. I mean, the shredder in this was pretty bad. What do you call it? Rivian?
Wood chop. Oh, yeah, the grate.
Yeah, the cheese grater.
Yeah, I had to actually look away from that one.
I looked at you close. That was hard.
I couldn't. I saw it coming, and I was like, no, I can't watch that.
And
I cannot watch that.
I really, for some reason, reacted hard to her puking up the bugs. That was gross.
Yes.
And her eating the glass.
Because he was choking it. She was choking on it. It's terrifying.
That was disgusting.
Same with the eye that he was choking on. I was like, oh my god, I can't stand it.
But
I hate when people choke on stuff.
The 2013 movie has, when she grabs the fire poker and starts beating the blonde teacher guy. And he's like, no, ow, stop. He's not hitting me hard enough to hurt him, but it hurts him.
Yeah.
And then he puts up his hand, and she hits it right between the two fingers, and the hand splits open.
Yeah.
I
thought they would do
when she stabs her in the hand.
Yeah, but they
she just pulled it out.
She didn't slice it up. She pulled it out.
Ooh, speaking of splitting things open, 2013 has the one where she licks the carpet knife.
Oh, that's right, the tongue.
And it splits her tongue. Ooh.
Oh. No, you know what? I'm going to go watch the 2013 version tomorrow.
Yeah. And I mean, the 2013 also has literal blood raining from the skies as hell opens up on Earth.
The fake rain here was kind of a cheap knockoff of that.
It's the wood chipper spreading the demon blood everywhere, which was okay, but it's not the same.
It works because it's contained. Obviously, they can't have rain just pouring down.
Exactly.
But it's like, dude, you're just trying to do what the other movie did, but you're scaling it down, and it looks cheap compared.
Yeah.
Still, like I said, lots of blood,
lots of good gore.
Yeah. Great makeup and demonic motions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Flying and shit was cool.
Also, we're going back and forth. I thought we were going to end this a while back, but whatever. Just that's something we didn't mention before. Very happy that most of it seemed to be practical effects. Not a lot of CGI.
There's one point where what's her name? Bridget, the older sister?
Yeah.
Of the kids, I mean.
Yeah.
She looks kind of CGI for some reason.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I didn't see that really. I know her wound and the gangrene is obviously CGI. It could be makeup. Yeah, but I mean, it spreads like CGI, you know.
Sure. It's when it spreads, yes.
Yeah.
But when it doesn't spread, it could have been makeup. But it didn't look like makeup. It looked like CGI because there was something too smooth about the face.
Oh, but were you thinking of because she doesn't have any hair towards the end because she was burned by her brother?
No, it's before the fire.
Oh, okay. Because then her head looks very smooth because it's all burned.
When she's sitting on the edge of the counter and Beth walks in.
Oh no, I didn't read.
And she turns around. That's when she looks too smooth in the face, almost.
I don't know. Maybe they had to remove something with CGI.
Yeah.
I don't know, some wires or something. I don't know, something. I didn't notice it though. It was very few times I was like, CGI. So that's good.
Yeah, no.
I can't really point anything specific out right now.
Oh no, Alyssa Sutherland, who played Mother or Ellie.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah,
makeup on her. That was wonderful. Oh, and she nailed it.
Yeah, she had all the good lines.
Yes. I think that's the high note we're ending this on.
Yeah. I was going to
say...
If
anyone shone brightly, specifically, it was Alyssa Sutherland.
Yeah. Do we want to briefly talk about the cold open and what was the point of that?
Oh, that's just to tell us that there's sequel bait.
It's sequel bait. But why have the movie open with sequel bait?
Because cold open.
Yeah, that sucked.
Because they could cut back to it then to do the sequel bait.
That's the one terrible part about the 2013 version as well. When you see the Dr. Nobi in that version killing his daughter in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's like, why... Like, of course, like I said, we know it's Evil Dead, we know it's going to be demons, but why spoil the fact that the demons are real if you're going to kind of play around with the thing in later? Like, it's demons, is it drugs? Who knows? So dumb.
And this one, it's
equally
almost
as dumb here.
No, but it's almost fine because we don't have the ambiguity.
Yeah, ambiguity.
We know that it's demons.
Sure, but I mean, I don't know. Honestly, it feels like they just wanted. They wanted to have a demon rise as the title came up and it says Evil Dead Rise. Yes. It's like, oh, come on, bro.
Yes, that is 99% why.
All right. Yeah, that's going to have to be it. Ultimately, good movie. Yeah. Should not have been an Evil Dead movie.
No, it should have just been gory demon movie.
Yeah. And we could have started a whole new franchise then, because it's okay to make sequels to new movies. Just stop making sequels to old movies.
Exactly.
Oh. So, cool. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Like we said, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/don'tmakeascene for all the extra stuff. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about for this. Maybe we'll talk about Lee Cronin's first movie, Hole in the Ground. Have you seen that one?
No, is that the A24 movie that I have to see?
Oh, maybe it is an A24. I don't actually know.
If it is, perfect. Yeah. If not, whatever.
We'll talk about something else.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Check out the Patreon to see what we end up talking about, obviously. And check out all the socials as usual, where we try and keep you updated.
Yeah. I recently started a TikTok, as we talked about in the last episode. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'll put something up.
Yeah.
But other than that, thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. But until then, have a good one. Bye. The Spoilercast is part of Please Don't Make a Scene. It is produced and directed by Tobias Vedén and hosted by Tobias and Rebecca Vedén. Executive producer is Annika Vedén and Laura Kinney. I also want to give a huge shout out to all our patrons over on patreon.com/don'tmakeascene. Mom, Dad, Laura Kinney, Danny Del Gaiso, and Mac and Mom.